Welcome to 𝐄𝐓𝐇𝐄𝐑𝐄𝐔. We talk about investing, finance, and professional women. As a current time of 9:03 a.m. on the Eastern Time on August 24th on Wednesday. Hope you guys have a great week so far. Ethereum $100,657, about 0.45% so far. Respect over crypto market, I would say across the spectrum, on the future perspective, ever since the sell-off that we've endured on Monday, I would say across the spectrum has been relatively unchanged so far. On the stock side of the house, Dow Jones, S&P, Nasdaq are all up or down about 0.05%. So we're not really doing much right now. Oil is also kind of leveling off around $94 per barrel. 10-year yields is still unfortunately above 3% at the moment. And on the media front, I would say this morning, nothing really negative or positive, I would say, right? We're still pending on the upcoming major catalyst, which is obviously is going to be on Friday, the Jackson Hole speech, that we'll be hearing from Jerome Powell on his depictions on the inflationary pressure going forward, right? Are we going to go with a higher rate? Are we going with the same rate? How has the rates hiked, the two times of the, 75 basis point rate hikes that we've done consecutively before? Has it been working so far? And how was his like guidance on, a lot of the corporate adjustments going forward, right? With the job numbers that is, kind of shaky now because a lot of layoffs is happening. High debt that's still, being, incurring among corporate companies because of higher rates, and that's just kind of like a downward spiral, right? If you people lose jobs, but the key mandate is, with the feds on, making sure that the job numbers sustain at a certain level based on their expectation. It just collectively doesn't do, a lot of favor, right? So on a macro perspective, I would say, in a Wall Street psychological perspective, based on investors, how they, looking at the charts, you could see clearly people are a little bit worried about how we be, going to be walking into the meeting coming up on Friday, right? And then obviously after that will be CPI report, the PPI report, and then the FOMC meeting, right? But some of the interesting news that I'm seeing this morning, it seems like Peloton is striking a deal to sell its business on both the fitness equipment and the apparel side of the house to Amazon. Obviously a giant, one of the big ones. So it makes sense. I mean, the company has been, kind of bleeding cash, and they have laid off a lot of people. The company is in a dire situation, right? So, Amazon, which have too much cash in their balance sheets and they're frankly printing money, to have, I guess a SaaS elements type of fitness equipment company, and contingent on the strategic team onto and being able to integrate it into the existing platform, onto potentially extending out that to their Amazon Studio, to their Amazon Prime usage, to even Amazon Fitness, which I don't know if there is one yet. Can be a synergistic factor, right? And especially if they're being able to buy this on a discount, which I foresee, that might be so. I don't know if they disclose any specificity on the execution price for this deal, but it's a logical, investment. Yeah, so it is what it is, but nothing really directly correlated to obviously the overall macro market. It's just some acquisition news that is interesting. And on top of the fact that doesn't really have anything to do with crypto, right? Unless you are riding the bike, you could earn Ethereum by hitting a certain miles, right? But I don't think there is. But I think if there was a way that you could gamify it, that would be quite interesting. You also like incentivize people to be being more healthy and active in a way as well, right? But enough of the off-topic discussion, which I do sometimes. Let's just dive right into it. With respect to recording time of 9:08 a.m. on the Eastern Time on Wednesday, we are at 1660, right? So we're basically at the level that we've identified, so it's not a surprise. At the same time, right now, you could see that we've been kind of, pending on which way are we going. We basically are just like gluing around like the 45 up 70 the whole time. On the MACD front, you could see that we've crossed down, which, the red candle speaks for itself. So right now we're just looking for some landing zone on which way we're going. So levels down will be, obviously 1450. Levels up will be 1750 all the way to 1860 again. So something that's I hope that we don't get to would be again, right, what we talked about yesterday, head and shoulder pattern. Seems like a head. This seems like a shoulder. This seems like a secondary shoulder, right? So if we actually go up a little bit and then give up, matching with the timing of the Jackson Hole speech on Friday, we can be in for more sell off, right? Because that's a very negative pattern, right? Every single time you see this head and shoulder pattern, it means more sell off is coming. So that means coming back down to 1,000 or even lower can be a possibility. And on the weekly front, you could see that it's similar in terms of the trends, right? We're still quite extended on the MACD front, and at the same time on the RSI, we're gonna be hitting a blockade soon, right? We are not at the low level; we are at the mid echelon of it, right? So I do foresee some negativity in the near term until like months and like more later in the weeks, and couple months out, right? Let's say when Q4, we should ideally see some recuperation, and I think that makes sense based on the current setup. So again, right, daily and weekly are both indicating bearish trends, not a severe one, but contingent on the cup and handle, not like the cup and handle, the head and shoulder. But if we form a something in difference, a cup and handle, let's say we go up all the way to 1850, sell down a little bit, and then recuperate and go up. That's a bullish signal, but I don't know if that's the case, right? I hope that's the case, but we have to watch how this will play out going forward. And then for Bitcoin, you could see that we are quite stale, right? We're not really going up or down, but you could see that clearly. This is something we've been talking about, the wedge that we formed. So we broke the wedge, so now we back down to 20,000, 21,500 right now. It's just like kind of seeing which way we're trying to go. But you can see that the reason we're staying at this level is because we are staying around the level that we've had before on the RSI perspective. It is a resistance level based on the technical front as well. So right now, looking for some levels to consolidate and then glide up from here will make more sense. Do we see a significant sell-off coming as we get closer to the major catalysts that we talked about? I'm not sure about that because we're relatively oversold already. So I do see less volatility for Bitcoin in comparison to Ethereum. Weeks out, we are I would say comparable, right? It's a little bit more bullish in comparison based on the read of it. It's quite more consolidated and we're more plateaued as well. So yeah, and let me take a look at monthly looks quite bullish. So okay, again, Ethereum is a little bit more volatile coming. Daily and weekly look a little bit more volatile until like months out. Bitcoin should sustain more stability going forward based on the trends. Daily looks kind of bearish. We need to kind of normalize down a little bit. But weeks out, we are doing just fine. Like we don't see like a major movement from here. But monthly, similar to Ethereum, quite bullish. Right, and on the altcoin side of the house, I would say across the board, we are trading very similar to Ethereum. So again, right, daily and weekly are, moderately bearish, but with great bullish signal on the monthly out. Okay. And appreciate you. Have a rest of a good day. Have a good rest of the day. What am I saying? And about to get breakfast and then head on to my, quite intensive day later. But I appreciate you. Have a good day again and take care.